Welcome to You're Not the Boss of Me. If you are determined to break glass ceilings and build it your way, this show is for you. I'm your host, Beth Graves, and I am obsessed with helping you to not just dream it, but make the plan, connect the dots, and create what you crave. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to episode number 19, and Happy New Year if you're listening to this in real time. So today I am so excited because I have been stalking Michelle Cunningham. She is my guest, and you are going to love her Own Your Awesome, and you will walk away literally fired up, like pulling your car over to the side of the road and getting started, taking action after this podcast. So let me tell you a little bit about Michelle, and then we'll bring her on. She teaches network marketers around the world to successfully build their business through Facebook parties, home parties, and using the power of video. So after you see this Wonder Woman on YouTube, you are going to see the power and the impact. She's called the Queen of Video Branding for Direct Sellers and teaches you to own your awesome to have a massive impact for success. So she's been involved in the industry for 16 years. She's earned a six-figure income consistently and led a network marketing team to over 8 figures in sales hosting home parties and Facebook parties. So she's playful. She's on YouTube. She's so much fun. She's made an impact with thousands and thousands and thousands of network marketers. And so here she is. Let's talk to Michelle Cunningham. So, hey, everyone. I am so excited because I have been stalking. She's my new best friend. She doesn't know it yet. I sent her like a half a heart necklace. Her name is Michelle Cunningham. And I literally have been watching her for months and months and months, obsessing over her content, her energy, her YouTube channel. And so, I ask for everything. So I thought, I'm just going to ask Michelle, she's super famous, if she would hop on this podcast to help us hear more about how she's built her business in direct sales and thousands of others with her quirky, honest, but deliberate presence on YouTube and on social media and just being an awesome pink princess. So hello, Michelle.
Hi. That was quite the introduction.
Well, you didn't know, I always like to admit that I'm stalking someone because it's just weird if you don't, right?
Yeah. Well, I stalk people too, so I totally get it.
I know. I love to study success. And so I know that we have some people that may not have been introduced to you yet, and now they are. And I'm super excited because after meeting you and talking with you, and we're going to give you guys this offer at the end, is I'm going to do the YouTube thing this year. And I have seriously dark videos that are sharing my sticky note challenge, and you've inspired me. So can you give us a little bit of history? I know that for those of you that, I said it on the intro, but give us the real version. How did you get started? When did you start realizing that the video presence was really a thing to build the business? So give us the scoop. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah.
All that.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you the quick background because I feel like a background is really important. I grew up incredibly poor. My mom was a single mom. So I came from very little. I had 2 brothers and myself, and everything I've ever had for in life, I've had to pay for on my own. And so I grew up always wanting to be like the kids who just had Pantene shampoo and fresh apples. So just to put it in perspective, where I live now and what my life is like is not what I grew up as. And so I'm very thankful for the journey, but I'm also, it's what drove me. It was realizing I don't want to have a moldy basement and snakes in my basement and have a house I'm embarrassed by. I want to have more. And so I went to college, paid my way through college, and then entered direct sales into my life. I got my first job as a pharmaceutical sales rep. And then I landed at an event, and it was a direct sales event. My coworker's wife invited me, and I'm there in this hotel room, the Holiday Inn, and there's a lady in the room claiming to make 6 figures. Another one's a millionaire. Another one's driving a free car. And I'm like, dude, this is either a fantastic opportunity or this is a scam. So I went home and I told my mom at 23 years old, and she goes, oh yeah, honey, 100% scam. Do not get involved. So I was not joining. And then a week later, I remembered that I was 23, and at 23, you don't listen to your mom. So I signed up anyway. And that was 17 years ago. And so when I joined, there was no text message. There was no Facebook. And so they said, how you're going to build your business, honey, 23-year-old, is you're going to go up to strangers in parking lots. I'm like, oh, that's horrifying. I'm like, are people doing that? Like, I'm an introvert. I don't like to bother you. I don't like to be in people's way. It's just who I am. I want everyone to like me. That's just my personality, right? So the idea of approaching a stranger and having them yell at me was like my worst nightmare. And so I, for the next 6 years, did not tell anyone I was involved in network marketing, like for 6 years. But in that 6 years, studied it. I looked up ideas. I ordered my full inventory. I was ready to go, but I did nothing for 6 years. I think I held like a party or two.
Wait. I got to repeat that, you guys. 6 years of studying. And so many people are like, oh, I was that person, Michelle, that bought every kit, signed up for a billion things, and didn't study, didn't do a thing until, when I launched the current business that I'm in. But I didn't know it was 6 years. Like, what made you keep holding on?
Yeah, it's just a fantastic part of the story. And it always, when I'm sharing it in front of an audience, they're like, you gave me hope because I've been, 5 years, I haven't started. I'm like, oh, you're fine. You're actually ahead of me. So for 6 years, I loved the dream of it, but I was too shy and too nervous to approach people, and I was like, but I loved it. But I was like, but I can't. And so it was a self-talk, this negative self-talk that I had, that I don't want to bother people. I don't want to, and in that 6 years, I tried. It's not like I did nothing. It's like I'd study an idea and then I'd call my recruiter. I'm like, maybe let's do your mall thing. You said we could do a scavenger hunt. Then we'd go do the mall thing. And so we'd go up to people, and I actually met a lady who said, oh my gosh, you sell for that company? I would love to host a party with you. And I'm like, really? Okay. But I got home and I was too nervous to call her. And so, talk about this is not going to work. And I called her the day before the party to confirm because I was nervous. And she's like, I never heard from you. What would make you think I'm ever going to host a party with you? And I was like, you're right. Okay, bye. So little mouse Michelle, one day I made a decision at 29. I was fed up enough with my corporate job. And I think that's when you see someone make a big change, where I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being a mouse. I'm tired of saying I'm shy. Yes, you're shy, but don't say that to yourself. Shy is just another word for insecure. And so all of these things I was telling myself, they were not serving me. And I thought, you know what? What makes me different from that girl over there that's wildly confident? She just acts confident. Why don't I just start doing that? Why don't I just stop caring and let's just do this? And so I just made that very conscious decision. And it was January 2009. Yeah, 2009. And I went online and I found someone that worked for the company that I had signed up with. She was not my recruiter, but they have a we'll help you no matter what thing. So when I met her, what was amazing about this lady is she changed my life forever, because when I met her, she was 4'11", she's tiny. She wears short, spiky hair. She doesn't wear a ton of makeup. She's not loud. She's not bold. She's not crazy. She suffers from social anxiety disorder. She fainted at her first home party. Yet she had earned over yeah. You're like, that doesn't sound like a good mentor. But she earned over $3 million in her career and was driving the top level car. And I was like, oh, okay. So you're a little broken. I'm a little broken. If you can do this, maybe I could do this. And so it was in meeting her that I met someone that wasn't perfect. Sometimes you meet people in this industry and they're perfect. And they talk perfect and they smile and they're perfect. And you're like, that's scary and weird. So she was normal. And so she taught me her system. She said, if you don't want to call people, then just text people. Just do whatever is going to work for you. Just find a way. And I was like, wait, I can do that? And so I actually started texting people. And that first month, I made $1,000, not knowing what I was doing. 6 months later, I made over $5,000, had built a team of 50. A few months after that, I earned a car that month. I earned another free insurance, and then earned another car a few months later. And then 4 years later, I learned a system that taught me how to recruit like crazy. And I taught that to my team, and we went from 100 people on my team to over 1,000. And it changed my life forever. We became an 8-figure sales team. My team did over 8 figures in sales, and just crazy. But it's just crazy to think that for that long I struggled. But it was just one day just saying, you know what, I'm fed up enough. We're just going to make this work. Yeah, so that was the beginning.
Well, and okay, a couple of things that I love is you noticed that she wasn't perfect. And I think that just made my face light up, even though we're on a podcast, you can't see it, because that's what I think the vulnerability of you on video is. You're the real deal, is showing up and saying, we may not be perfect. And I say that all the time, is I built my business with sticky notes because I couldn't figure out how to use the Excel spreadsheet. And I felt like my drunk uncle was driving me around when I was trying to use systems. And you also said, find what works for you, but have some way that you are booking, like in your case, booking the parties, booking the shows, booking the online events. So you said something too that I know everyone was like pulling over to the side of the road and getting out their notes on their phone. You said you developed a system that worked for your team. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because that's a renegade. You were in a company that had been around forever, like the beginning of time. Everyone knew that person that had earned that car in town. And then all of a sudden, introvert Michelle, who went from being shy to being bold, is like, we've got a system and it's working. So how did that look? Can you share a little bit of what that time looked like and what you guys all did?
So, absolutely. So that fourth year, I had been sitting at a team of about 100. I was pretty consistently making about $5,000 a month. And I heard a speaker that year that said, or it was like at an event. And the one thing that I took away is she said, hey guys, I believe that while you're on this earth, you should make as much money as humanly possible. And I was like, wait, where's she going to go with this? I don't know if that, the poor girl in me was like, I don't know if I want to hear this. Because I believe that you should live completely debt free. And I was like, okay, I can get on board with that. And then I also believe you should have tons of savings for your future. I said, okay, I like that. She said, and I then believe you should live below your means, which I do. I like to shop at Target and resale shops. And you should give back frequently, generously, and anonymously. And that last line of frequently, generously, and anonymously, I said to myself, Michelle, you need to step up your game. You could be helping so many more people. Right now, you have enough to provide for you and your family. How many more humans could you help if you decide to step up your game? Because the fact that you got to where you are, what if you did that same amount of crazy work like over and over and over again? And I thought, I need to find something. And it was like a God thing. I was on Facebook that night, and this cute little blonde appeared on my screen, and it was a Facebook ad. And she was just pretty. I just clicked on her because I'm like, let me see what she's all about, this cute little blonde thing. And it was Sarah Robbins from Rodan and Fields, the #1 seller for Rodan and Fields. And she's making like $1 million a month. I mean, it's just like something, or $1 million. It's something so insane that you're like, okay, let me learn from you, little human. So I clicked on that, and I ordered her book.
Let me learn from you, little human. I love it.
Like literally, because that's a little thumbnail is what I mean. She's she's a little person on my screen. So I clicked on little human, and I ordered her book, which is How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business.
That was my first book I bought too. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
You did?
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Such a good book.
It's tattered and it's highlighted and yes. Okay, keep going. I love it.
So I read the book, and all I learn, you don't have to go read the book. I'll just tell you what it is. All I learned is change your story, make it super inspirational, and then at the end, give them 2 options. You can join my team today. If you decide not to do that, you can take home products. Those were 2 things I was missing. I was missing the inspirational story. I had a ho-hum story. It was kind of inspirational, but not really. So I changed my story to be like I was the #1 person in all of my company. I owned my awesome. So I made it like I was in a play with this amazing story. And I'm glad to share it if you want to hear how I roll it out. But that story. And then at the end, I said, option 1, join my team. Oh, and that's the best deal of all. And then if you decide not to do that, you can take home products. And I usually was just selling product. And then after, I would invite them to meet for coffee after they liked the product, this whole long 3-week process, which sort of was effective. But I was like, wait, if I could sign people up on the spot. And so I rolled this out for the first time in March 2000 and gosh, I don't remember what year, but it was, 6 years ago. And I rolled this out at my first appointment. I had a lady over to my house, tried the products. I did my arrogant story at the beginning, and it was like arrogant. But I was doing I was reading the book, and I'd practiced it all day. And at the end, she goes, okay, and I gave her options. She goes, okay, so here's what I've decided. I'd like to join your team, and I'd like to buy the whole skincare system. And I was like, what the heck just happened? I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. I'm like, you do one or the other. And in my head, I'm like, just Michelle, write it up, sign her up, sell her the thing, just do it. So I do. And she goes home inspired, which is what was different. She went home inspired, and she told her husband about this inspirational woman that lived a few towns over that was on fire, that was, changing her life. And the next day she called and said, my husband wants me to get the whole package. He wants me to get started now, because she was inspired. I had never had someone do that before. And it was in that moment that I believe like God was knocking on my head, like, Michelle, do more of that. Be loud. Because by you being loud and you being proud, you can impact people's lives. You can change their financial situation. And so I had to stop being introverted Michelle and say, okay, I need to be awesome, because by me being awesome, I can impact lives. And so the next lady came over that day with her husband. And at the end, her husband goes, yeah, you should just sign up. And so she joined my team. That month, following that system, I recruited 22 reps personally, and my team followed the same system, and they recruited another 20. So in 1 month, we brought in 42 new reps to my team of like 100 that had been sitting at 100 for 4 years. And I was like, that was awesome. Let's do that again. And so we did. We did it again. And that year, I earned the top level car. We had 5 people become the top 1% of the company. I mean, everything changed. I went to London that year. I mean, just everything, massive movement because of a tiny little shift. Owning our awesome, lead with the opportunity, default to the products. It was such a simple idea, yet it made such an impact.
Like, I have chills because so many times, and I want to talk about owning your awesome, and that when someone owns their story and someone has confidence, and it takes those of you that are listening today and you're thinking, but I haven't had the success yet. I don't have that voice that Michelle has or that Beth has. You can be that person, and there's visualization, and there's seeing yourself on that stage, and there's creating that story that allows you to own your awesome. So I think you might be able to walk us through, if someone wants to walk away from this podcast and own their awesome and they're being coached by you, what would you tell them?
I would say to them, and I said this in my group the other day, I said, guys, what is the most you've ever sold at one party or in one day? What is the dollar amount? You know, one girl wrote $1,600 and another girl wrote $300, another girl wrote $800. And I said, do you have any idea that the average person out there, an extra $200 a month would dramatically change their financial situation? Like, do you have any idea? And the fact that you can host a party where you can be in front of humans, and in 2 hours of your time, you can make $200, that is mind-blowing to most humans. That is literally mind-blowing. And so if you have a story like that, like in the chat when I shared this, girls were like, oh yeah, I made $800 in 2 hours. I'm like, you should be at every appointment, like hanging from the roofs, swinging on a Tarzan rope, saying, guys, I'm a big deal. I sold $800. I made $400 in 2 hours, whatever it is. That is such a huge story. And so putting that dollar amount into your story can make such a huge impact and can really inspire someone. So I always tell people, throw a dollar amount in there. What did you do in a 2 hour time span, or in a day time span, or in 1 week I made this much, whatever it is, put your marketing hat on. And, you know, as women, we're taught to not be arrogant, but I would say, no, this is owning your awesome. And this is going to change lives. So put that away, the arrogance part of it, and just own your awesome and share those stories.
And I just had this vision because I've talked Michelle into being at real life camp. We're going to have a Tarzan rope, and we are going to do an own your awesome activity. Done. We're swinging from the rope. I mean, I think we should have one in our offices. I love it. Okay. So we're at this point of your business. You're teaching women to own their stories, to lead with the business, to really be real about what's happening in the direct selling network marketing industry. And that was what I needed to know for me to finally say yes and go all in. What was possible, and why not me? So you've got this team and you're rolling, and a lot of what you were doing because of your business was a party plan business. And then you transitioned to a lot of online coaching, training, and parties. Can you talk about that transition for those people that might not have the opportunity? And I want to preface this, you guys. You always have the opportunity to be in a person's living room. And I know that we see a lot of things that say, build online, never leave your house, never talk to your neighbor. But I will always tell you, to earn multiple 7 figures, I was willing, I wanted to be connecting with that neighbor, because I know that in person and online, sharing what Michelle just shared, swinging from the Tarzan rope, changing lives, is in person. It's online. It's everywhere if you are passionate, right, Michelle?
It's 100%. And I built so much of my business in person. And, you know, then I did transition. I did a lot online. I had a lot of success online, but most of my clients, all that reorder from me, it's all mostly in person. Yes, I do get people that find me on YouTube and stuff like that, but it started, and I 100% agree with you. In person is so great. And it's so good for introverts like me to be in front of people, because if I'm not in front of people, I find for me, it's like a muscle. I can get just quiet and not really want to be around people. And so for me, I kind of force myself to be in front of people to like learn human interaction. Cause like, I just want to be home. I just want to like do my thing. So getting out and challenging yourself will make you a more confident person. That's what I found and brought me success.
Well, and I say to people, if I told you that your income would double, triple, that you would impact your family's life, be able to impact the lives of others because you were willing to go to that event, to go and meet with that one person. I remember early in my career, we had a tough summer and I was tired and I was supposed to get on an airplane and go to Vegas, and there was a team growing there. And I made it a thing that when I saw a rising leader, I would get on an airplane and go and meet that person in person, meet their friends, help with the event. It was an investment I was willing to make. And I almost canceled this event. I thought, I don't really want to fly that. And then my husband said, they are responsible for the money that you're making. Your personal actions are, but this team is waiting for you. And I have to say, Michelle, I heard a story at that event from one of the promoters on my team that I journaled about it. And it was how the product had helped her overcome grief. And she shared with me how much she wanted to tell me that in person. And I literally said, I will never miss the opportunity to be in front of people. And it has been what drives me. So let's fast forward, because we're now quite a few years later, and now you're this YouTube sensation. You've got this following that is like crazy cult-like. You needed to get your systems into the hands of many. You were called to do that. So how did it go from your team to worldwide people just finding you and saying, Michelle, give me what you've got? How did you make that transition, and how does your business look today?
So it's such a great question, because it wasn't ever my intention. I believe that God had a hand in this. Like, there's no other good explanation, depending on what your beliefs are, the universe, whatever. But literally, 6 years ago, as an introvert, said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Why? Because at that point, I was a little bored with my business. You know how you have a month where you're like, I just feel bored. What can I do in my spare time? I was bored. My son was like 3, so I wasn't exhausted, and I think I was pregnant. Like, I'm going to start a little YouTube channel, or maybe it was right before I started to get pregnant with the next one. And so I had a little, I was downtime, and I don't like downtime. I don't like to watch movies. I get bored. I like to work. And so I said, I'll start a YouTube channel. I'll just make a video. And initially I was like, I don't know what I'll make it about. Maybe I'll make it about organizing. I made a few videos. That channel still exists. It has 900 followers. I made 8 videos about organizing. It's the stupidest videos ever, because I don't like organizing. And, not like that. I have a very organized office, but my house, it's not. So it was funny that I was making that channel, and it stressed me out because I had to clean before I filmed. And then I was like, this isn't my jam. And then one day I was like, but I really like to talk about network marketing and direct sales. Why don't I just do that? And so I started to put out what I was doing. I was just sharing my tips. And I could not believe it, but people were like messaging me at 3 a.m. in the morning in my inbox saying, Michelle, your video just totally changed my life. It changed my business. I love you forever. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Do you have more stuff? And I was like, I'll make more videos. I'll make some more. And so I just literally for 6 years, I just kept putting out new videos. I tried to aim for once a week, putting out a video. And that was my goal. And I didn't always hit it. I mean, it was sometimes 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but I just tried to put out content. Okay. And did not think anything else beyond that. Never thought it would ever turn into anything else. Well, crazy, but I got a call from a company. They said, hey, Michelle, we found you on YouTube. Can you come and train our sales force? We're a brand new startup network marketing company. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, sure. And they're like, how much is your fee? I'm like, I said to my husband, how much is what? He's like, just say something outrageous. I'm like, well, I wouldn't go there for, I'll say $2,500. He's like, yeah, just say that. And I said that, and they said, sure. And I was like, oh my word, like, this is awesome, right? So excited. I go and speak to the company. And as a few weeks before I go, they said, Michelle, do you have any training materials? We'd like to purchase your training materials. And I was like, purchase? I'm like, I just do free training. What's this purchase stuff? Okay, yeah, I'll make a CD. So I literally went into my son's bedroom. I don't know why. That's where I recorded it. I just remember it must have been quiet in there. But I recorded my first training. It was how to generate leads. And then I recorded another one, how to host a home party, and then how to recruit like crazy. And it was just all my secrets on 3 CDs, and had some artwork made, and I got 1,000 of them printed. And those have gone on to sell. I think 7,000 of the lead generated one have been sold, just crazy numbers. But it all started with that little thing. I was like, oh, I could sell something. Huh, that's interesting. And so then this January, I decided to start running Facebook ads. I was like, maybe these could help more people. So I started to run Facebook ads. And then we started to sell like a really lot of them. And I was like, well, maybe I could make a course. So this new business of mine just kind of started this year where it was like, I have CDs, but maybe I'll do some courses. So, I host Facebook Live parties. My first one I ever hosted, we recruited 20 people in 45 minutes and we sold over $20,000 as a team. And everyone was asking me how I did that. I said, I'll make a little course about it called Mastering the Live. So I made this course and put it out there. And I realized at that moment that when that course launched, I realized that God had said to me, Michelle, you're called to your next level. Like, I know that I gave you the success in network marketing, but now you are called to something bigger. And I pushed back for 10 months. I did. I said, you know what? No, I'll just keep doing both. And I was doing both and trying to manage team and then building courses. And it was a lot, but I just was like, no, I was going to the top in network marketing. That's what I'm doing. He's like, but you don't understand. I've given you like literally 7 times the income in this other thing. What are you doing? And so I had to honor that and say, you know what? I think you're right. I think I love training people. I love making videos. I love changing lives. I just want to do that. And I literally, that's all I want to do. And so I made the very difficult decision to leave a team of 1,000 reps, 8-figure sales team. People are like, have you lost your mind? I'm like, well, no. It sounds silly that you would leave something this big, but I grew something that was infinitely bigger, that required less of my energy, that 100% filled my cup and brought me 100% joy. And I live a life now that I'm like, this is my dream. I'm with my kids all the time. I make videos. I change lives. And I absolutely love it. And so I never thought any of that would happen. But I will tell you, I talked about this with Beth, and she'll reveal, but I've got something coming out that reveals how I used video. And not knowing, I just did it to be nice. But that video changed my life forever and my financial situation forever. And now I'm so passionate about showing other people the power of video. You just put out free content, you help people, and you accidentally make a following. It was all an accident, but it was a pretty awesome accident that happened to me. And I want to show people how to accidentally do what I've done because it's awesome.
I love it. And so when I look back at give back frequently, generously, and anonymously, you are not, God's knocking on the head saying, look, we need to impact more people so that we can make this not just you giving back in big ways, but teaching others to give back in big ways. And the other thing I love, Michelle, is you went to the top. You learned to lead. You learned what the frustration was of your people so that as a mentor and a coach, you waited to coach until you had basically done it all and said, okay, I'm called to do more, to impact more. And you did show up in my feed on a Facebook ad. And I saw that pink office of yours. And I was like, who's this? Who is this? She's so darn cute. Who is this little person? I need to learn from her. And
this little human.
who is this little human? And there's so many ways that our lives have run parallel. And so I'm really, really excited I'm diving in to your video launch course. We're going to put in the show notes. And what is it called again? What's the specific name of it?
It's called Video Creator Classroom.
Yes. And there's also a Facebook group. So I'm all in because one of the things entrepreneurial ADD that I have is, I'll start a YouTube channel. I'll do this. I'll do that. So I'm saying it here because then people will hold me to it, that my commitment is to go all in with podcast content and YouTube content. So I'm all in. I can't wait to get started on the content, and I'm following directions. I'm not doing it my way. I'm going to learn from the best. And I hope those of you listening can understand that free content. I have people, even with my YouTube channel that will grow this year, but I made a tiny little video before we even knew how to turn our phones or have ring lights. And that one video has so many views, and I've recruited many people who have reached out to me to say, hey, could I join your team? And I was like, what? Out of the blue, right? You get these messages. So imagine that content that we find. So and it's free, right? It's free to be on YouTube.
It's free. I had a girl, and I forgot to share this. She found me online and joined my team and added over 700 people to my downline. 700 people. And so, those were the things as I was making the channel. I was like, wait, this is awesome. So, that was happening. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. So the blessings that came from the videos I mean, there's no way my team would have grown to the size it did without her and without a few other people that had found me online. So it's power of YouTube, brings you high quality leads.
And the lesson I'm taking away is do it before you feel ready. Going into your son's room, making that CD back in the CD days, and saying yes before you had a perfect presentation. And then that shift that was like, you know what? I need to impact more people, and I need to get out of my comfort zone and build a life for my family and for the legacy. I love those pieces. So we're going to close with one question. And those of you that want to join us in this course, it is going to be epic, I'm telling you. And we're going to give you a link below that you can get in, because it's pretty new, right, Michelle? This is like first group.
It's brand new. Yep. So we had our pilot group go through it. And so it is so great. Like, it's just fantastic. And people are just loving it, and life-changing things happening. So exciting. So yes, now the pilot group's run through, it's ready to launch. So it's going to launch in the next few weeks here. We're just getting all the emails ready and everything. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
I love it. And where else? Tell them how to find you on YouTube, find you on Instagram, Facebook, all the good things. Where do we find you? And then I have one big question to close with. So don't get nervous.
Okay, got it. So Direct Sales Michelle is me on YouTube and on Instagram. And MichelleCunningham.com is my website. I just got my full name. I was so excited.
That's really exciting. Did you wait a long time for your name, or did you have to negotiate?
Well, someone owned it. There was a girl that was a stripper that owned it, if you can be totally honest. And I know. And then I called Wix a few weeks ago, and they're like, ma'am, your name is available. I'm like, no, a stripper owns it. And he goes, no, it's available. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's out of $600, $700. I'm like, well, I kind of want that. I'm like, think I can get a deal? And anyway, the stripper didn't give me a deal, but it doesn't matter. I got my name now. So
I love that a stripper owned your YouTube channel. Your website.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I own Michelle Cunningham online, and then now I have Michelle Cunningham, but I haven't transferred everything over. But Michelle Cunningham redirects you to Michelle Cunningham online. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, here is your question. For people listening today that are ready, that need to take an action, they're where you were during those years of sitting around thinking, one day maybe I'll do it, still doing what they're not loving that they're doing. What are 3 things that after they finish their workout, because we're in their ears or we're in the car, 3 things that you can tell them to do today that will lead them to do that success that you were speaking of, getting to the top of the company, doing all the things, having the freedom?
So 3 things. Number 1, I would set a schedule. My life dramatically changed when I said, you know what, I'm going to hold appointments Friday at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and Saturday at 10, 12, 2. I set a schedule, and that was it. Those are the little windows that I worked. But that made such a huge impact. I got so much done in the Friday, Saturday that I worked my business. Granted, I booked appointments all during the week, but I knew on Friday and Saturday, that's when I got dressed, got out of the house, did my thing. So that's number 1, set a schedule and don't set it so I used to do Tuesday afternoon, Friday morning, Sunday, Thursday. And my family's like, are you going to be home today? Like, no one knew anything. So when they finally knew every Friday mommy's busy, every Saturday mommy's busy, there was so much harmony that brought to our family. Number 2, I would say positive affirmations all day long. I think as women, we just are always overthinking things. So I think fill your cup with things that motivate you. I like to watch crazy people online. Gary Vaynerchuk, he swears a lot, but I do like his message. And so finding people online that have a powerful message, the Tony Robbins of the world, the Sarah Robbins, the really motivational people out there, follow those people and absorb what they say. And my last tip would be run your own race. Run your own race. Don't look left or right. I think that when you think about what other people are doing, and you're worried about what they're doing, it doesn't matter. They're on their own train track. You're on your own train track. And your train track is moving. Your train is moving on your track at the rate it's supposed to move. And you can make it move faster, but it doesn't matter what people do to the left or right of you. And that includes the people on your team. One person cannot dictate your success. So if other people's trains have taken a break and they're having a snack somewhere, that's just fine. You keep your train moving. And so I always stayed in a very happy state because I personally worked my business and I didn't look left or right. I'm so disconnected to the world. Like, I don't even know what's going on in the world. I don't watch the news. I don't watch other people. And I just do my thing because I'm out here just owning my awesome. And I recommend the same for you because you can't really think when you don't know anything. It's great.
The name of this podcast episode will be Own Your Awesome with Michelle Cunningham.
Yes.
And I have notes covering my desk. Michelle, this connection is so amazing because I know that, like, I already decided we're friends forever. Okay.
Done. When am I getting the necklace? I want to get the hat. This will actually be really funny.
It is. It's
I'm like,
on
that
the
would
way.
actually be really fun. I totally feel the same connection to you. So like, I want you to know it's not like you're the weird friend that just likes me. I feel the same way. I got off the phone with you. I'm like, she's like my new best friend. I totally love her. So we're so on the same page, and you're such a rock star, and you're so amazing, all that you do. And I just commend you. And I got to learn about podcasting from you because I want to start one, and I've been dragging my feet a little. So I'll teach you YouTube. You teach me podcasts. It'll be great.
We'll do it. I'll teach you podcasting.
I love it.
It's been such a great connection. And so I want to challenge you guys too. I'm going to go back over, set a schedule, positive affirmations, and run your own race and just get started. Michelle is a perfect example. Before she was ready, before she had a plan, before she had the perfect pink office, but you guys are going to be so jealous of the pink office. And just do it. Get yourself started and ready and put out the free content and own your awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And we'll catch you guys all next week on You're Not the Boss of Me. Oh my goodness. How awesome. How awesome was Michelle today, you guys? So let me just ask you to do this for me. Let's get some Instagram love today. So please screenshot this and tag us both at Beth Holden Graves and at Michelle Cunningham, and let us know that you loved this episode today. Also, there is still time. This is so exciting that Profit Her Way is launching this month. We have so much to do in preparing your profit plan, helping you to make money your way. So go ahead and go over to BethHoldenGraves/profit if you are ready to be a part of a powerful mastermind and getting your plan in place for 2020. And as always, I'll see you over at Camp Elevate. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on You're Not the Boss of Me. I'm hoping that you found one thing that you will do today that will allow you to move forward to that big, audacious goal. And I have a favor to ask of you, and that is leaving me a 5-star review over in iTunes. Every single week, I read your reviews. I love hearing what you have to say, and it allows me to bring you more, to get more people to interview that are doing the thing, breaking the glass ceilings, creating what they crave, and helping you with your game plan. So leave me a 5-star review, and when you do, I enter you to win the You're Not the Boss of Me swag. So make sure you leave it, and we'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks so much for hanging with me today, and we'll chat with you soon.